Hello everybody. Okay, so on the last tutorial that I just posted, we went over on Sure Cuts a Lot, the program that I use to cut out designs on my vinyl cutter. For this step that we are going to do, you don't actually have to have a vinyl cutter. We are going to cut out a wood piece, okay? So I posted the other day about all those wood pieces that I cut out using my jigsaw. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to do a little simpler design today. This is what the first step of the project is going to look like. You are going to need painter's tape, and I use a thicker one for this process. So painter's tape, I generally do not the knockoff brand for this just because I need it a little bit more sticky. It's going to stick onto my wood. And then you are going to need some adhesive spray. This is a very industrial one. You don't need something this sticky, but this is what I have on hand, so this is what I use, okay? So you're going to need plywood or whatever type of wood that you are going to print or cut your design on. This one's a little bit bigger, but I already have this cut out, so I'm literally going to cut this off, or sometimes I keep it on so it can hold it a little bit extra. So this is just the design that I'm going to do later on. So this is what it's supposed to look like. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the heart. Like I said, we are going to do a simple design today. So you are going to need a piece of wood. You can have it already sanded. Well, you don't have to. You can sand afterwards if you choose to do that. This one's already sanded, cut out. So I just grabbed this. This is an 8x8. So we are going to put this heart on here. So what we're going to do, the reason why I put the painter's tape down on the piece of wood is because when I put the adhesive down and then put my piece of tape on there, or a piece of paper that I wanted, I never got that piece of paper off. It stayed on there forever. So I'm going to just cover this piece of wood with the painter's tape, because the painter's tape peels right off. So when I'm done cutting, I peel it right off, and I don't have to pick off the paper or soak the paper because when it gets stuck on there. And what I always say in all my videos, this is just the way I do it. There could be other ways to do it, just to give you guys an idea if you ever wanted to try this. So we are going to cover that. So I'm going to put it on the back just so it can hold it a little bit more. So this is covered, okay? So now I'm going to get my heart that we are going to cut out. Give this a good shake. It doesn't need to be coated. It's just going to get a light little spritz on here, and then I'm going to place it on here. So I'm going to do this over the trash can over here. Taylor, we are going to make just, we're cutting out using a jigsaw. We're just doing a basic heart today. So I am going to spray the adhesive on here. We're going to put it on my wood piece that has the painter's tape on there, so that way I can get it off a little bit later. So I'm going to go to the trash can and spray this. That's it. That's all we're spraying. And then we're going to place it on there. And that's how you do that. So what else you're going to need is obviously a jigsaw. This is how I do my designs. You can use a bandsaw or a scroll saw. It'll be a little bit easier. I have a DeWalt. I have my hair up because I don't want to accidentally die in my wood shop. So this is just the one I have. There are other options that you can do. I'm a DeWalt girl, so this is what I use. I have a wood blade in here. It is made for wood, and it's a finer one, so that way I can get into nicks and crannies of the stuff that I need. So I also have some clamps. We are going to clamp this down to a workbench or whatever you have, okay? So just give it a good clamp down. And I actually haven't cut wood on a live tutorial before, so safety first. Wear goggles and other safety stuff. When I'm cutting with my saw, when I sand stuff, I generally use goggles because that stuff just goes everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to get my clamps and I'm going to move them out of the way. So the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to, so see how this is on this side? I'm going to get my jigsaw and we're going to cut this way. And you guys are going to watch me through this whole process. I'm not going to pause it or anything because I don't know how to pause live videos anyways. So we're going to go this way and then we'll see how it goes from there. So you're going to make sure you don't cut your cord off. I hope everyone can see when I am cutting. I won't be able to answer questions because I like my hands. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to cut on the outside of this black line. If you have a thicker line here, make sure you either stay on the inside or the outside so that way you have an even heart, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. I start the jigsaw before I cut into the wood, because if I set it up against the wood then start cutting, it jacks it all up and it's kind of scary. You guys make sure you use at your own risk. Read the manual, stuff like that. If you have someone to help you, if you're not familiar with tools, I'm very familiar with tools, so we're going to go ahead and get at it. Stop the jigsaw when you want to take your blade out. So now we're going to come from this side. So if you're not left-handed, you might have to move your little heart stuff around. So take your clamps off. You just kind of like go around it, okay? You just keep having to move your clamps and move your tool around to do this. So we already have a cut here, so sometimes I go into that cut or I just start a new cut here, so that's whatever you want to do. So since that might not work, we're gonna probably make a new cut. That might work. Hopefully you guys can see with my big head in the way. Okay, so when you want to do curves, you're going to need to come back at it at the different angle. So this is going to have to be cut from this angle. So see how we're going to meet in that corner? So we are going to make sure we meet in that corner on the other side. So I don't try to maneuver it right there, especially since it's a simple shape. I'm not going to try to get in that corner. We're just going to come at it the opposite way. And don't cut your cord off. Alright, this, better safe than sorry. We're going to put another clamp on there. So since I want to get this corner right here, I'm going to go ahead and cut this way. So since this wood is all loose right here, it wouldn't matter, or I could literally just do that. So there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and just cut at this. So do that. I'm stopping because I'm hitting the clamps, so we always need to readjust those. And I kind of got stuck probably on that glue. Okay. If you don't know how to use clamps, this is how you open them. This is how you close them. We are just making a heart sign. So just a little heart cutout is what we're doing. This is just the basic design here for a tutorial video. Okay, so I'm going to come at it this way now. Pieces and just throw them away. I get my wood from from Home Depot mostly, Lowe's. Right now I'm using just plywood, so plywood, that's where I get it from, but then sometimes I use pallet wood to cut out stuff, so pallets I get for free wherever I can. Can't see, so now we're moving. Now let's go. It's a jigsaw. Okay, so this is done-ish. So we have the piece of paper that's on here. So this is how easy this is going to be. So see how this kind of gets stuck because this has the adhesive on it. You're going to get this painter's tape. And voila. Now we have a wood cutout that is a heart shape. So basically what I do from this point is I go and sand it off. I have a palm sander, an orbital sander, however you want to call it. And then I sand the edges because sometimes you get a little bit of a jagged edge here. So that's all you do with that. So just cut it out, and now I have a heart cutout to make a sign with. Girl, you need to open that jigsaw up. You need to use it. So watch a bunch of tutorials on how to use it. I'm not a pro, but I know my way around some tools. So anyways, there's that. I can either hand sand, or I can use my palm sander or orbital sander. People call it different things. Normally that's what I use on the top side, but then you can use a belt sander or something on the edges, or just hand sand. Okay. We're going to come back a little bit later. I'm going to let my phone charge, and I'm going to show you how to piece together a wood sign. Thanks guys for watching.